I'm Dave Dinkle, and this is the Transactional Funding for Real Estate Investors question and answer series. The question today is, what is transactional funding? Transactional funding is the process where funds are borrowed and used to purchase various types of commodities that usually will be resold the same day. In our use as real estate investors, the best transactional funding is when we borrow money for a few hours to purchase a property that we already have resold to an end buyer. Transactional funds are as monies that is wired into a closing agent or attorney who will be closing a double transaction, the purchase and then the sale of the same property, preferably the same day. It's critical that any money supplied by the transactional funder and the end buyer be deposited into the closing agent's escrow account from wired monies only. The importance of wired monies can't be stressed enough because counterfeit money orders and cashier's checks are easy to make with high quality copiers available to the public. No actual cash money is allowed for buying properties, as closing agents do not want to be responsible for holding cash and having to make the bank deposit. The other reason is the person making the cash deposit must give their Social Security number if they don't have an account. If they have an account, their Social Security number, or TIN, is on file and the deposit is reported to the Internal Revenue Service, NTSA, as a countermeasure for money laundering. Transactional funding allows real estate investors to do purchases and sales without the use of their own money. This is a giant benefit to beginning investors who have no money of their own to invest. The transactional funding lender needs only to review the closing statements for both the purchase and the sale of the property and know that the end buyer's funds are cleared and are in the closing agent's escrow accounts. Once the transactional funding lender is satisfied that the buyer and seller are ready to close, meaning money in the escrow account, there's a profit on the investor side. He then authorizes the closing to go forward. This closing can take from 30 minutes to many hours if there are problems that have to be resolved at the closing table. Once the original seller has signed all his closing documents, the investor has signed his seller's documents and his end buyer's documents, the transactional funder's money will be used to fund the first closing, and the second closing will be funded with the end buyer's money, all within a few moments. Lastly, the transactional funder's money will be wired back to his bank account, usually the same day. Thanks for joining us for the Real Estate Investor Series on transactional funding.